Boston Celtics fans, we have 23,753 loyal subscribers here on Celtics Today, but only 3,800 of you have your notifications turned on. So why don't you guys go on ahead and join the Noti gang, hit that little bell icon so you guys get notified whenever the Boston Celtics have anything going on, because we're going to tell you all about it, and I don't want you guys to miss out. The man of the hour, Jayson Tatum, is what we're going to be talking about on Celtics Today. I am your host, Allie Barefoot, and Jayson Tatum went on CBS Mornings yesterday and basically defended the Boston Celtics against a former NBA player, a Hall of Famer, and a current NBA analyst. And of course, that player is going to be Charles Barkley. A couple weeks ago, he did say, look, the Celtics have a few things to work on. This was during the halftime show of the Boston Celtics versus Los Angeles Lakers, and Barkley came out and said on the TNT crew saying, look, I'll say this, I'm almost off their bandwagon. They win games on talent. They don't win games on toughness and on defense. Not tough? Not tough, Charles Barkley? How are the Boston Celtics not tough? Do I need to bring out the statistics and show you how tough the Boston Celtics are, because they have the third best defensive rating in the league at 110.8. They have a top 10 defensive rebounding percentage at 72.6%, and they're first in box outs per game with 8.1. The Celtics play night in and night out, and yes, there have been some flashes of what are they doing on defense, but nonetheless, there is a reason why the Boston Celtics have been so dominant on both sides of the ball, and it's led them to be nearly 4 games ahead of every other NBA team right now, ahead of the NBA All-Star break. And you know what? Jayson Tatum is better than me. I'll tell you his response towards the end of this show, because he's just so classy. But since Jayson Tatum decided to take the high road, I think Smitty and I are going to really defend the Boston Celtics here, because they caught another stray on NBA Today on ESPN, as Kendrick Perkins was saying they're not working in a post-up too much. They're not doing enough down low, which is also not true, Kendrick Perkins, because this tweet came out regarding Kendrick Perkins' comment on ESPN saying the Celtics don't post up enough. They have nothing to rely on if the threes don't go in. That's not true. Why? Because in post-up frequency, 7.3%, second in the NBA, as well as post-up efficiency, 1.17 post-up points, first in the league. And you know what? I did a little bit more digging, because I thought these stats just didn't even sum up how good the Boston Celtics can be around the perimeter, and they can be down low. 3.4 field goals made, second in the NBA in post-up. 9.5 points, first in the NBA, and 7.3 frequency, second in the NBA. The Boston Celtics can shoot at all 5 positions. They can shoot anywhere on the court. We also saw Peyton Pritchard, just for shits and giggles, make 2 half-court shots. One of them counted, the other one didn't, against their opponent the other night. And that's just a shell of what the Celtics can do on their journey to Banner 18. And we're not the only ones that are sitting here thinking the Celtics are going to win the NBA Finals. I know we're a little bit biased here, but according to ESPN Bet, the Boston Celtics are plus 260 to win the NBA title, which of course is first in the sportsbook odds right now. And the way I see the Boston Celtics playing, I fully believe, despite all the odds, the Boston Celtics will be champions at the end of the NBA regular season. So, what do you think the Celtics need to work on in order to be champions of the NBA Finals? Because I know we're not perfect. The box score looks great. I love the rankings, and of course the rankings do help when you are first in the Eastern Conference, but there are still some areas that I don't think involve toughness the C's can get better at. Where do you think that area lies? Go on ahead and comment that down below. And I told you guys I was going to tell you what Jayson Tatum said back to Charles Barkley's comments, but I'm going to do that in just a few moments, because first I do want to tell you guys about PrizePicks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America right now. I'm playing it. Smitty's playing it. Here's why you guys need to be playing PrizePicks. 1, it's super easy to play. Takes less than 60 seconds to help you win most of your picks. All you guys have to do is pick between 2 to 6 players and just pick more or less on their projected stats, and you can win up to 25 times your money on any entry. And 2, it's just super fun to play. They constantly have promotions going on. Like right now, between February 12th and February 18th, if you win 1 entry a day, you move on to the next round. And if you've won 7 in total, you could get in for a chance to win a share of $3 million in free entries. And they also always have demons and goblins. I took Jayson Tatum to have more than 6.5 assists. That is a demon. Harder pick, bigger payout. And then I took Tyler Hero to have more than 3.5 rebounds. Easier pick, not as much of a payout. And of course, Kristaps Porzingis to have more than 19.5 points. These are my prize picks. Go on ahead and make yours. All you guys have to do is go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that promo code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100 and watch yourself win some real money in real time. I'll summarize here one more time that Barkley pretty much said that JB and JT are too nice. I've never known a nice guy to win the NBA Finals is what Charles Barkley said, basically just questioning their characters, saying they need to be tougher. And while I do think generations have changed from Charles Barkley's time in the NBA to now where Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown play, I think they're two of one of the toughest guys in the league. Here's what Jayson Tatum had to say back to Charles Barkley. He said, you have to give respect, right? Those are the guys that paved the way for the younger players like myself. You don't always have to agree, but you have to, in a sense, respect it because of the work that they put in. I understand that in times that we're in, you can't win it. Nobody can win a championship until you do it. So nobody's going to give us the credit until we actually do it, and that's fine. You can have Kendrick Perkins. You can have Charles Barkley. You can have numerous analysts out there saying the Boston Celtics have a Achilles heel. They've got too many red flags. They're not tough enough to win Banner 18. But like Jayson Tatum said, we're not going to get our credit until there's hardware on our finger. And I want to point out how tough Jayson Tatum is on both sides of the ball here because night in, night out, he's making history. Tatum has had at least 20 points and 7 rebounds in 10 consecutive games. That's the longest streak by a Celtic since 1988, when Kevin McHale had an 11-game streak and Larry Bird had a 10-game streak. If you're ever putting Jayson Tatum and Larry Bird in the same tweet, something's working, right? These are Hall of Fame. These are legends in the NBA right now, and I never want to hear that nice guys don't win the NBA Finals because Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown are as tough as they get, regardless of how clean they may play the game. I'm not going to call it nice. But something else that's really different about the Boston Celtics this year is the X Factor. ESPN's Chine Ogumake did say KP will carry the C's to the finals. And I don't necessarily agree with that statement as a whole. I don't think KP is going to carry the C's to the final. I think KP is really going to enhance the Boston Celtics to get to the finals along with JT and JB. Because when you really look at these 3 players, and it used to be the Jays, right? JT and JB, but then they added KP. Look at what they're doing in their advanced stats right now. They're all pretty much the same in their defensive rating. These are actually in the top 5 in defensive rating on the Boston Celtics right now. Their effective field goal percentage is phenomenal, 55% and above, and their plus minus all over 5, and it's all positive numbers when these 3 players are playing together. There's no doubt that Kristaps Porzingis is the X factor, but is he going to lead the C's to the finals? Probably not. Is he going to accompany Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown to the finals? Absolutely. Do you guys think Kristaps Porzingis is the C's X factor? Do you think he is what pushes the needles over the hump to win Banner 18? Because look, Brad Stevens said it in the offseason, I'm paying whatever it takes to win Banner 18 this year. Is Kristaps Porzingis going to be worth it? Go on ahead and type Y for yes, type N for no. And while you guys are doing that, I did tell you I'm giving a shout out to new Twitter followers, or X, or whatever you guys want to call it. And these are just a few of the many followers that I got. I also got a lot of tweets at me. I know Will Cut Paul tweeted at me asking about the Boston Celtics, which I loved. The Rock Curry, D-Line Vids, 8 Fly Eagles Fly, which I can't believe I just said that, and Yoda Rules. Thank you guys so much for following me on Twitter. Feel free to go on ahead and follow me down below, AR Barefoot. And while you guys are at that, bring it back to YouTube, Celtics Today. Hit that sub button and turn on your notifications if you guys haven't already.